What it is, episode 59 of the Graham Avenue podcast, Utica's unofficial podcast. Pimpy here in the dungeon with Cages and Sean, and we have maybe our second most prestigious guest.
Definitely our best looking.
Taylor Backrack, though.
Taylor Backrack. We had an MP, actually, Michael. We're not even going to introduce you. We're going to talk. We had an MP, like a guy that goes to Ottawa, and he came on.
It was before he was MP.
Probably better looking than you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a close second. Michael Garteig, do you want to tell us a little bit about you before? Because no offense, but most people here aren't going to know who you are.
Yeah, I mean,
no offense.
You're not Wade Flaherty, so that's basically
the Wade Flaherty of PG. I would say though.
Maybe. I'm Michael Garteig. I'm from Prince George, British Columbia. Proud Northern BC guy. I've played professional hockey for the last 4 or 5 years, and went through minor hockey in Prince George, junior hockey in the BCHL. I went to college in the United States, and then have continued my hockey career afterwards, I guess. And happy to be here. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
love it.
You're welcome.
Is this your first podcast that you've ever done?
Oh man, sorry, it's not. But I mean,
shit,
no, it's okay. You're broken in.
He did call her daddy before I got
So you just mentioned all the different places you played. How did you end up hanging out with Spencer Bell? What went wrong?
Sometimes you zig and sometimes you zag, and
exactly. I was stunned, man.
I guess just mutual friends, and the sad part is that we got to a little bit of betting, and he just talked me into these most outrageous bets, and I would say he came out on top of it at the end of the day, which I'm not proud of. But I mean, hey, I give the guy some charity. We had a good time, and but besides him Snapchatting me behind my back, and
yeah, he does that.
Oh, love it. Okay, so this is like we were saying, we've had gardeners on, we've had MPs. We had
Cody.
A local hockey legend, but we haven't actually had a pro hockey player on before. So where should we start, Pimpson? What do you think?
How would you describe Prince George? What was it like growing up in Prince George in the 90s?
And playing. What was it like playing in Prince George?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit different than some people in that regard, but I didn't really hang out as much with hockey players growing up as I did I guess more as I got older. I started to maybe, but I always kind of had separate friend groups, and
such a goalie. That's such a goalie thing, I think.
Hanging with kind of the nerdier kids like Sean Friend and
just salt of the earth people, really. Just surround myself with good people. But obviously, as you guys know, in a northern town, it can be a little rougher at times, and grew up with a single mom, and in what I used to call the hood of Prince George, and
nice.
But now it's a nice area because everything's
revitalizing the downtown core.
Oh yeah, pretty much. So no, and then just play hockey here, I guess. And I to be honest, I really never made it top team. I would make the AAA team when I was a second year, and then never made best ever. I didn't make U15 or U16. I know you did. Congratulations.
Yeah, Scotty.
I was saying I do like to brag about it, but I was bottom 5 players in the entire tournament.
Yeah, but everyone needs a role, and you're a role guy.
Yeah, I was a role guy we lost every game. Our best game was 4-1 loss. And I think I was only a -2, so not too bad of a role.
Well, yeah, you had you're going up against Tyson Berry, who's just
Vander Kane, Landon Ferraro.
Yeah. But
just getting literally bullied on the ice.
I feel a lot better about myself though, hearing that you didn't make it your first year, because I had never made it my first year. I only made rep my second year. But when did you know that because you obviously had a really good stint with Penticton, you guys. You played 4 seasons, or how many seasons did you play with Penticton? 3, 2?
No, I actually played. I
played 1.
I played junior B as a 17-year-old, and then I played 2 years with Powell River, and then I got traded to Penticton my last year. So stat check for maybe, hey fellas.
Yeah,
I know.
We
got the hockey D page.
It's a tough start.
Yeah. So okay, well we'll skip all the Powell River stuff because Kyle forgot about it. But when you were at the V's, was it 41 game? You said a North American record.
Yeah, another stat check, 42. But
42. Oh,
Were you the starter?
yeah, it was actually pretty crazy. So my 19-year-old year in Powell River, I got a scholarship to Quinnipiac, and then I was supposed to go to Quinnipiac, and then like I couldn't pass my SATs, and
No way.
but hey, I'm a smart guy. I don't remember.
oh yeah, you're wearing glasses. Come on.
So no, I couldn't. I did end up passing my SATs, and I did end up getting accepted that year, but it was like in August, and I kind of just made the decision like last minute, which I can't believe I did to this day. But I called my coach and was like, "Hey, I think I should play another year of junior," and he was like, "You just won goalie of the year. Like, why do you need to go play juniors?" And I was like, I don't think I'm ready. And he's like, "You're definitely ready." And I was like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know why, but I just felt like going back for another year. But not to ramble on too much, but Powell River then had to trade me because they had a really good young goalie. And they finally ended up trading me to Victoria. And then Victoria traded me to Penticton. A lot of rumors that I was getting paid under the table. And like, because we had like this dream team of players that shouldn't have been there. And we weren't getting paid, obviously, because that's against the rules. And
Sure.
and then we started the year off like 3 wins, 3 losses, and then rattled off 42 in a row, and I guess won the RBC Cup. So it was a pretty good year.
Wow.
Well, one of my questions was, so when I was a goalie, like my biggest, and it's a horrible trait for a goalie, I was also small, which is not good, but I was inconsistent as hell because my head, like I'm a head case a bit. Like I worry about everything. Like, man, I couldn't imagine winning 42 games in a row. I don't know if you won did you win all those games or did back up? But you must have won a shitload.
The crazy thing is I think I played, it was a pretty cool year for me because I was 20 years old, and I guess you could say I was like a proven goalie in that league. And like, it was pretty cool because like my coach would take me in the room and he'd like show the calendar and he'd be like, "All right, what games like do you not want to play?" And I would just like point to the map and just be like, "Nah, I don't want to play that one, that one, that one."
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool because I've definitely never had that in my career anywhere to this. And I mean, at that point, I ended up actually spraining my ankle like really bad with like maybe 8 games left in the season. And up until that point, I probably played almost every game. And then
wow.
My backup goalie at the time had like really bad numbers and was like, he was not like doing very well. He came in and just like played out of his mind. And he played all of playoffs. And
no way. Wow. You didn't even play playoffs?
No. And then when we played, so like winner of British Columbia League plays the winner of Alberta League. I came back for my first game in that after missing like 8 weeks. And I didn't skip a beat somehow. I was like fat and out of shape and just played with a red face and half an ankle, and we won that series. And then we won the RBC like, a couple weeks later.
Yeah. Fun fact, actually, my initial question I'll ask after, cause I rambled on a bunch, but big anti shout out to Penticton V's. They beat the Woodstock Slammers, which is actually my grandma and uncle live in Woodstock, New Brunswick. Fun fact. So big shout out to New Brunswick, and a tough loss. I thought New Brunswick New Brunswick Slammers were pretty solid for quite a while. And UNB is a really great college team, which like for CIS. So New Brunswick has a couple things going for them.
And potatoes.
But what I wanted to know was like, so when you're in a season like that and you're on a heater, like how do you keep that going? Like is there anything that you do to stay like mentally sane? Because I would just like ride the wave so hard in game, out of game. So I was super inconsistent. Like, is there anything that you do to help stay even keel throughout a season?
That was a tough year because like for a goalie, like believe it or not, it probably wasn't the most flattering team to be a part of because we were so good, but we were so offensively minded that as a goalie, like, man, we won some games, like pretty high scoring games. And so that was kind of tough and like pretty funny because at the beginning of this whole streak, like we just win. And it was probably one of the funnest years ever because Penticton's a nice city. We were allowed to go out to the bars and stuff, which a lot of junior teams can't do. So we'd win, and our coach would be like, "Well, all right, enjoy it. Like, don't want to."
Florida, boys.
Yeah. So it was amazing. But then, like, funny enough, like near the end of it, we'd start like winning games like 7-6, and he'd be like, "Oh, no green light tonight, boys." And we're like, but so like that was getting tricky because like, man, some of the teams we were beating, we were like beating them so bad, and that's like pretty hard to do in that league. But like, man, off that team, I think, like, I don't know for sure, but I bet you we had 8 or 9 guys play in the American League. There's definitely 2 to 4 guys that probably play in the NHL. 2 guys still play in the NHL.
Who are some of those key guys?
Troy Stetcher for Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Anti shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah. Troy Stetcher, Mikey Riley, another defenseman.
Mhm.
He had 82 points that year as a defenseman.
Wow.
So
That's sick.
Yeah. And then there was like Stephen Fogarty. He's played games with the Rangers. Travis St. Dennis. He went to Quinnipiac with me.
Right.
He played 4 years in the American League. Bryce Gervais, Joey Bennick, Mario Lucia. We had the Riley brothers. They were twin brothers. Man, it was just like, it was not fair.
Yeah, the Riley brothers.
Yeah, there's Mikey Riley's the youngest brother, and then they have twin brothers, and they all went to University of Minnesota.
Leo, is it Leo and?
It's
no, that's the Fitzgeralds. Oh,
yeah. Those guys, baby geniuses.
Dude.
Oh, is that those are the guys on the Prince George team, right? The Spruce Kings?
Yeah, they were the babies and baby geniuses.
Dude,
I remember hearing about that.
Not that we're going to talk about your hockey stories because they're like 1,000 times better, but we went down to tier 2 provincials, and it was in Summerland, so close to Penticton, and we played against the baby geniuses. And we're like, look at these little guys. I got lit up. I let in 9 goals. Or no, 7. I let in 9 the other game, but just got absolutely toasted. But anyways,
Yeah.
Scott, you ask a question.
I'm
buddy.
allowed to talk.
Yeah.
All right. So after you went off to Quinnipiac, oh, that's a tough one. Quinnipiac.
Yeah, that's
Can I
good.
ask about Quinnipiac?
No, I can.
Okay.
You just practice saying Quinnipiac.
Okay. Quinnipiac.
All right. So you went off to Quinnipiac. First of all, where is Quinnipiac? Because I don't think most people understand.
It's a small town in Connecticut.
Okay.
Like an hour from New York City, maybe 2 hours from Boston.
Okay.
Not
So
a big-
nowhere
that's
near
actually epic.
Terrace or Prince George. But I've heard stories about college hockey. Like where do college hockey players kind of fall in the hierarchy of student athletes?
Oh man, if you're in when you went to Quinnipiac, it was like best case scenario. It's probably how we actually recruit a lot of players. Like we don't have a football team.
That's perfect.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, that's really big. And then we have every other sport is Division I, but we're just like in the best conference. So we're in the Ivy League conference. So like we play Yale, like that right behind you right there. That's the Yale game. That's like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Is that not even Quinnipiac?
Oh no, that's Quinnipiac against
Okay,
it.
good.
And Yale's 5 minutes down the road. So,
No way.
Oh yeah, like biggest rival ever. Like line up out the door, like crazy fans all day. Like it's a cool experience. But like so in terms of like the hierarchy, it's pretty cool. Like you like it's really cool actually. I don't know how to like say it without sounding like a douchebag, but I mean like
Fly at it, man.
yeah.
You're a goalie.
like I'd go to class and then I'd be in class and I'd be like in a group project and no one would say anything. And like, I was just a regular dude and that's all I am obviously. But then the next weekend or Monday would roll around and they're like, oh my God, man, I went to the game. You're the goalie. Like, are you kidding? And I'm like, that's like, it's so cool though. Cause you go to class with like, it's small classrooms. So like, like that's the best part. You're playing in front of your best friends. It's like pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's actually super cool. And what did you do for school there?
4-year degree in marketing, and then I actually got my master's when I was playing hockey.
You do have some brains. How did you not pass your SATs?
Just panic under pressure, I guess.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. So that's sweet. You're gonna have a good you'll have a good little because that's the thing I think that people forget, like when they're just solely focused on hockey, like you're not gonna probably be able to. Most people don't play till they're 42 or whatever. Like you gotta.
A little bit of a backup plan. What was it like switching to college? And you had a few pretty good runs there with Quinnipiac, eh?
Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, it was crazy because I went from winning an RBC Cup to going to the Frozen Four, and losing in the national championship game. And
Mhm.
I didn't play. I was a backup goalie, and then but for my 4 years there, we had most wins in NCAA, all of college hockey
Wow.
in 4 years. So we were like the most winningest program in the world, I guess, for college. So
Damn.
like my senior year, we went to the finals and we lost to North Dakota.
That was yeah, against Besser, right?
Yeah,
Don't
Besser.
bring that up.
Oh, well, just want to
Uh,
make sure I have the right team.
Sorry,
I
man.
did a stat check today on a few things. We're very rushed with this interview.
Troy Stetcher, he is on there too.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool though. Like, and where was the Final Four? Do they do it in a certain location, or is it?
yep. So in 2013, it was in Pittsburgh, and then in 2016, my last year, it was in Tampa Bay. So
At the bar, at the big barn and everything, or
we were number one seed, so you get like we got the Tampa Bay locker room, and
Wow.
love it, man.
they do like a good job. Like they promote it. Like the only shitty thing is for us is like our school has maybe 10,000 people. The town of Hamden maybe has like 30,000 people, and North Dakota is like, craziest place on earth. And when we played at the Amili, like it sold out like 18,000
Mhm.
people, and
Wow.
probably like 5,000 Quinnipiac fans, and the rest are North Dakota fans. So it's pretty tough.
I
Definitely.
bet.
And you played with was it Matthew Pekka?
Yep.
And is it Devon Taves or Devon Taves?
Devontae's,
I'm
yeah.
trying to figure this out. Matthew Pekka in like NHL 2014. I got drafted by the Sedins and being a pro, and they trade Daniel for Matthew Pekka. And it was like he never played in the NHL. He'd just been drafted.
Oh yeah, seventh round.
Yeah, seventh rounder. I'm like, why do they keep trading the Sedins? And I kept going back and thinking they wouldn't trade him. They always traded for him. So I've never forgotten who Matthew Pekka
They
is.
were looking for a guy like you, bottom five forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Bottom five in the league forward or bottom five forward?
Oh, that's awesome. So you played. Actually, one that other thing, just a little tidbit. Do you know who Jamie Holden is?
I do actually. Yeah, he went to Quinnipiac from Smithers.
Who's
Yeah.
that? Well, from Telqua.
Oh, he's from Telqua. Okay, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, it's like the same thing, really.
But yeah, one of our good buddies, Cody Keller, that's his cousin. So I actually had known about Quinnipiac for he played in 01, 02. So I was like a young kid. So I kind of followed you a little bit, not in a creepy way, but I'm just like, I knew who you were because of Quinnipiac. I'm like, that's sick. Like a guy is playing for Quinnipiac. So, and Jamie did quite well too. He was like, I don't know if you're as smart as him. He's a dentist now, but
Oh shit.
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure he runs his own dental firm.
he's doing quite well. So you got a lot to live up to. The alumni of goalies. Holy shit. But one thing I want to know is so you're playing university and you didn't get drafted, but what was it like when you were was it in your final year? Was it in your third year where you started to get interest from pro clubs? Like, how did that work?
So my second year, so my first year I played one game, and my second year I played every single game. So I was like, okay, I probably wasn't ready to quite do that, but I got enough interest. I got an NHL invite to the Canucks, and then I went to camp there, and I actually did really well. And they kind of told me hey, we were like wow, we're blown away with how well you've done, and we're just gonna keep an eye on you. And then, frick, man, talk about a regret. I don't care. We'll talk about it. But going into my third year, I was man, I partied so much, and I partied a lot, and I was having so much fun. I was in my third year, so I was comfortable. Things were kind of getting fun. Everyone's getting older, and I could go to the bars from day one, but they can't.
Plus, you could go to Boston in 2 hours.
Well,
that's scary.
Yeah, so I was just having a little too much fun, and my assistant coach actually had a meeting with me, and he sat me down, and he's actually the assistant coach for the Washington Capitals now. And
no way.
He sits me down, and he's like, Gart's hey, I just want to let you know, Vancouver's called us, and they're going to come watch you play. They have to come watch you play an X amount of times because you're their number one undrafted prospect. So, and I was like, oh, man. And he's like, and I heard that maybe you've been partying a little too much. So maybe you should cool it. And I was like, yeah, for sure. So I did. I cleaned it up. And then to start the year, I went like I don't know, we lost like 3 games in a row. I had like an 80 save percentage. I was so bad. And, to this day, I'm like, man, I wish, maybe I was just a little smarter. But in saying that, I ended up going on a really big run, and I ended up kind of having I still had a really good year. But I had a slow start, and that kind of hurt me. And after that year, I kind of was like, well, I had AHL offers to leave. And my coach actually was the one who told me, like, maybe, like, I'd love for you to go, but hey, something to consider. But nothing was really that great of an offer. So I that's when I knew, though, that I was like, oh shit, okay, I think I can probably play professionally. And then my senior year, like, man, I was having the best year of my life, and career-wise too, and I knew that I had a good amount of interest. So when the year ended, I kind of knew that I was going to sign a contract.
Were you happy the Canucks approached you? Like, were you kind of a Canucks fan growing up, or were you a Leafs fan in secret? Like, or were you just happy that someone was kind of like knocking at the door?
Well, that's also kind of like one of the worst things, is that I was like diehard Canucks fan growing up, watching them my whole life, and it's kind of funny because, like, maybe at Christmas time in my last year, Vancouver scout was in Connecticut, and he took me for dinner, and we like had a conversation, and it's pretty exciting for me. Like, man, I'm from Prince George, like thinking, okay, man, like if a team's taking me for dinner, they're obviously pretty interested. So I talked to them, and they basically told me, like, yeah, we'll just keep doing well, and we're going to offer you a contract. So, like, from day one, I was kind of like, oh man, that's where I want to go. But I didn't do the right thing, because I followed my heart, not my head. And I shouldn't have signed in Vancouver. And like I say it all the time, because I signed with Thatcher Demko in the same year. And I was very naive. I was like, he's the first goalie drafted, and we signed the same year. And I was thinking, like, I don't care where he's drafted, I'm going to beat him out. But that's just not how it works.
It's the right mentality, but like, I think it'd be bad of you to not have that mentality. Would you say?
Yeah. But I had a couple other teams that were interested, and you can't regret anything, though. Like, so I'm happy that I did it, and it led me to where I am now, and probably made me stronger. It's just no different than getting cut from U15 or U16. So
wouldn't know about it.
I became a CPA.
Didn't get invited to U16. So.
Yeah,
but you ended up in Alaska after that.
Yeah.
So that's ECHL, but was that connected to the Canucks at all?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, that was their farm team.
Yeah, and like this is my point. Like, I don't mean to ramble. Like, I don't want to.
No, dude, this is your pod.
Take up your time, but like, that was kind of the shitty part, is that my first year in camp, I went to Canucks camp, and I lost like so much weight. I didn't drink, and if I did, it was like hardly. And I was so dedicated to what I was doing. They got me a nutritionist. I went to Vancouver early. I trained, and like, I was so dedicated to it. I was like, man, I signed an NHL contract, got to put in the time and work. And I went to camp, and I thought I did so well. And I've had really bad years and really good years. And I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever played better. Like, we played scrimmages, and I was like getting shutouts. We played exhibition games. I played in exhibition games against San Jose. As a first-year pro, that's pretty cool. And, like, I had guys come up to me in camp, like Alex Burrows, Derek Dorsett, and they're like, man, like, dude, keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're getting noticed. Like, no one's talking about the other guy. They're all talking about you. And so I was like, wow, that's, like, oh, like, your head's just like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they sent me to Utica, which is, of course, like, I knew that right away. And I'm in Utica, and the coach is Travis Green, and who's now the coach in Vancouver. Yeah. So it's me, Thatcher, and then another goalie. And there's just 3 of us there. And the goalie coach is super, super old school. And he's like, French guy, like, hey, Gart's, we're going to, I'm going to teach you this now, so you have the education when you go to Alaska. I'm like, I haven't even played. Like, I've been there for like 3 days. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, so, and like, he just keeps like reiterating it. So then I said to him, like, okay, so, when am I going? And he was like, oh, I don't know. Like, when do you want to go? I was like, today. Send me down right now. So he went into the office and Travis Green was like, well, I was just going to carry 3 goalies. Like, but if you want to go there, then you should go. And I was like, okay, I want to go. Cause I
It's
didn't
better
want to
to
be,
start.
I didn't want to be the third guy there getting
Yeah.
bullied by this goalie coach that's what he was. And sure enough, I go to Alaska and woof, just
You didn't like
What?
Alaska?
like I like the city and stuff, but like as a hockey, it was tough.
Yeah. And like, who do you play against? Like what's the closest team to Anchorage in the EC?
Boise, Idaho, probably.
Such a
Oh.
weird, like, were you guys just constantly on a plane or?
Yeah, we would. I don't mind it. I mean, I played in St. John's, Newfoundland,
Mhm.
same thing. But
Which we're going to talk about. Trust me.
best place on earth. But it was just tough because you know what, I spent like a lot of my career in the ECHL, and Alaska was like, in terms of a hockey organization, it was tough. So
Fair enough.
that was tough for my first year too, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
fresh into it, and that's kind of what I got thrown into. But what people don't know is that I actually spent almost the whole year in Utica. I just never played.
Okay. Yeah. Because we were looking at your DV.
Yeah, 22 games.
And I thought you just were there for a small stint, but was it? Do you agree in that? Like, whenever I'm a Leaf, I'm a Leaf fan. You could probably tell, but like I've always liked the idea that like if a guy isn't like, it's better to have a guy in a lower league playing a lot. Obviously, there's like a threshold where it doesn't really make sense anymore. But do you think as a goalie, it makes way more sense to be playing a lot of games, even if it's in the ECHL, than practicing but not really playing in the A?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what that plan was. And when I went down to Alaska, I did play like we play 3 games in a week, and I'd play 2 of them, and
Mhm.
I was playing pretty well, and I you know, like that part was fun, and I enjoyed playing. But then I'd get called up to Utica, and then like I got called up 6 weeks, and I played like I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 games, and if I was playing, I didn't play 1 home game, so I played 8 games all on the road.
And it's like it's so far to travel from Alaska, and if you're flying to Utica, it's like it's across the continent.
Yeah, exactly. And then you know it's tough because then I go sit on the bench in Utica, and then I get sent down to Alaska, and then I suck in Alaska because I haven't played in like 4
Mhm.
weeks, and
Yeah.
that's just part. But like as that was my first year, so I will say like as a older guy now, man, it doesn't matter. I wish I was more mature then, and I could have handled it better. But at the time, you think, poor me, this sucks, and like that's it. And then it's really hard to get into it back again. Where if that happened to me now, I think I'd be much better mentally and more ready. You know.
Yeah, I feel like psychologically it'd be like pretty tough too, being like a top dog in Quinnipiac, and like pretty obviously you should be confident and going into like a pro, but then it's pro hockey. Like it's not easy. But so then you went on. So after Alaska, you went to Kalamazoo. Where the hell is Kalamazoo? I've always heard that name.
I re-signed with Utica.
Oh, okay.
I signed with Utica, but I played in Kalamazoo. And
So
that was
Okay.
probably the worst year of hockey of my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You had an 887 save percentage.
For those at home, that's not good.
That's not good, but was
Maybe
it an okay year?
maybe if I was playing for the Steelheads, but
Yeah, which in reality, I probably had an 887 in Pee Wee rep in Terrace. So
That one game in Salmon Arm.
I
probably
can't say
destroyed
shit.
your
Yeah,
save
we'll talk
percentage.
about the Salmon Arm game. But so where is Kalamazoo, and how did that season go? We're gonna go through your whole career.
well, that was actually even harder because I was kind of excited that I got another crack at it, you could say, and I was in no different situation than I was the year before because I was still with Vancouver. I was still their 5th goalie on the depth chart, and then yeah, that year was just tough because I went to NHL camp, I went to AHL camp, and then I went right to Kalamazoo. Like there was no sticking around in Utica. I went right there.
Yeah.
And then I went to Kalamazoo, and man, it was so tough. I played with a 37-year-old goalie partner who played in Kalamazoo for like 14 seasons.
No way.
Wow.
Just a grizzled vet.
And now he's the assistant coach in Kalamazoo. He's got like a family, like best guy ever, but like just a terrible. Him and the coach played together. They won a
Yeah.
championship together. They're like best friends. And again, not like poor me, but man, bad timing.
Yeah.
That's a thing that like, and so that was the Canucks ECHL because they kind of bounce them around.
Yeah.
Because Alaska folded, and
Oh, okay.
okay,
Classic. Of course they did.
not getting sidetracked, but this is like a good podcast story.
Do it.
Oh yeah.
I'm playing for Alaska. I've already been up in Utica once, and I got sent down the second time. And at this point, we are on like a huge losing streak, but we're still in playoffs somehow. So we're grinding, and there's like, man, we got the wackiest team. It's like the replacements from a football movie. You can't even make this stuff up. It is insane. So the shit that happens on this team, like I could tell stories for years. But point being, we're getting ready to play the first place team at home. And this is in like February or something. And our coach comes in, and our coach is a really emotional guy. And he's like, hey guys, like, this is when we're going to go on the ice for the game after warmups. He's like, hey guys, I just want to like talk to you guys about something. And we're like, oh no, like someone passed away or something happened. He's like, yeah, we're season operations. We're like, everyone's like, looks around. He's like, he goes, I'm not joking you. He goes, Huntsy, you don't have a job. Colsey, you don't have a job. Koff, you don't have a job. He goes, Gartz, you probably got a job. You're on an NHL contract. He's like, me, I don't have a job. Trainers, out of jobs. He's like, we're all searching for jobs.
Oh my God.
And then not even like a rah-rah. He was like, go get him. Walks out the room.
That's like in a movie.
We're down 3-rip in like 5 minutes.
Oh my God. What a pep talk. Just like, yeah, everyone's fucked.
Yeah.
Except for a few people, and there won't be a team here next year.
Yeah.
But
Go give it
you
shit.
finished the season. They didn't.
Yeah.
They finished the year, but I actually got called up, like, thank God, like right after that, and I finished the year in Utica. And I actually left Alaska, and I had like all my stuff in Alaska, and my year ended, and they had to like ship all my stuff to me.
Was that the same season? Because you backed up an NHL game, right?
That was the same year, yeah.
What was that like?
That was pretty cool. That was sweet. Like it was a home game, so like my family was there, and like I got paid to sit on the bench, and then I got paid to.
What's the pay?
A lot.
Like what? Is it 10K?
Well, like I was on a max contract for a rookie, so after taxes and stuff, it's like probably around $5,000 a day. It's pretty nice.
Oh. Because I do actually remember that game because I did talk about it and stuff. Like you humble beginnings in Prince George, the most dangerous city in Canada at one point.
He was stabbed 8 times.
Yeah. This guy was stabbing to sit on the bench for an NHL.
Yeah,
he's like a Canadian 50 Cent. Stabbed 8 times.
Oh man, but
who's that game against?
Phoenix. It was actually pretty cool. They won in overtime on a penalty shot by D-man Ben Hutton. He scored, and
Kyle's favorite player.
Love that guy.
It was he's an awesome guy, but it was cool because it was still like early enough in the year that like I was like everyone knew who I was from camp. So like also funny story. Like Alex Burrow's like such a nice guy. Like I'll never forget that. Like he's like, Gartz, man, like good to see you again. Like hopefully you bring us some good luck. Like sits next to me in the locker room, tells everyone in the room like, hey, like Gartz from Prince George, like dream come true. Like everyone give him clicks, like that's so cool. But at the same time, I walk in the room and Daniel and Henrik Sedin are like, hey, Daniel, Henrik. And I'm like, you were on my team in training camp. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, that's tough. I was like, whatever, shake their hands twice. Pre-COVID days.
Yeah.
So after Kalamazoo and Utica, you went to my favorite organization, the Maple Leafs organization. Legally, you're not allowed to say anything bad about them, Michael, because I get carved up on the daily about that team. But can you just tell me? Can you tell me how that went down? Like, were you a free agent? And then just if you could walk through your experience in that organization.
Man, it was. I kind of feel bad for doing all the chatting, guys.
No, dude,
we're not that interesting. He's a CPA, and like I don't even. No one really knows what I do.
I'm more interesting than him, but just kidding.
I was. It was pretty crazy, man. I played 2 years, like I said, and I saved messages on my phone because I'll never forget. But a goalie coach I had for like ever, he played in the NHL. He was my goalie coach in Connecticut, Steve Valaket. He's like does the panel for the Rangers, right? And
Okay.
I messaged him in the summertime. This is after Kalamazoo. I had like you said it, like 3 point something goals against, 887 in the ECHL the whole year.
That's okay though.
Oh, but like believe me, it was hard to get a job. So I'm sitting there and I text him and I'm like, hey, the Rangers ECHL team is Maine Mariners. I was like, I'd love to play in Maine. Like, what do you think? And man, I gotta read it to you. I literally have it on my phone. And he's like, what about it? I was like, you think it would be a good spot? I was like, I'd like to play there. He's like, I don't think you can get a contract after having an 887 save percentage.
No way.
Like, I don't have time to do this, but research goalies that were below 890 that got ECHL deals the following year.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, I'm aware, but like you have to look at the situation and blah, blah, blah. He's like, nobody cares. I was like, understandable, but you're basically saying I can't sign an ECHL contract next year. Correct. Love you, but I'm not going to bullshit you. I never will.
Tough love.
So I'm like stubborn all summer. I'm like training and I'm still like, okay, I'm going to sign. But I'm like this close to like, all right, I need to hang him up and I'm just going to stop playing.
Yeah.
And like, dude, talk about just like so lucky. I skate in Boston in the summers and I skate with this guy named Brian DeCord, who is the Toronto Maple Leafs goalie scout. So he told me at the beginning of the year, he's like, would you play in Newfoundland? And I was like, not really. Like, I was like, probably not. I just was in Alaska.
Yeah.
Those aren't the most glamorous places. And he's like, okay, well, like, I think you're good enough. Like, I know your numbers aren't like good, but like, I'm going to send a video and like, we're going to try to talk him into signing you. And I was like, at this point, I was like, yeah, go ahead, do it. So I signed an ECHL contract for $725 a week.
No way.
To play for Newfoundland Growlers, which was the Toronto Maple Leafs farm team. And I went to the Marlies camp. This is also hilarious. So I just, maybe my career is just a big joke, eh?
I love it. It's so interesting.
It's definitely better than our hockey career. So
I go to Toronto Marlies camp, and they told me that you're going to go to the Marlies camp for the week. And I asked them like, okay, well, I have my car in New Hampshire. Like, I want to drive it to like Newfoundland. I already signed in Newfoundland, so I knew that's where I was going, and I was already been through the bullshit. I knew where I was going. I didn't think I was making any team. I was like, I'm going to Newfoundland. Can I drive my car there? He's like, no, you're going to be in Toronto at least till Saturday. So you're going to be in Toronto till Saturday. We'll fly you out Sunday, and you're going to have to go to Newfoundland, and you're not going to have your car there. And I was like, okay, like whatever, cross that bridge when it comes in. I go to Toronto on Monday. Got in one.
You have to in Toronto.
Well, no, we had a physical the next day. So did a physical. Like, I was with a bunch of the guys in Newfoundland. I didn't know them yet, but we had some pints and whatever. It was fun. And then did the physical. Next day, I did a practice, a game, and I'm in the locker room, and this guy's like, "Hey, Michael, can you come talk to me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I have all my travel receipts, and I'm like, "Here's my travel receipts, like, because you get reimbursed, right?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, take a seat," and I'm like, "Oh no!" I like almost like start laughing. I'm like, "You're sending me home already?" and the guy's like, yeah, like, let me take those receipts. And he's like, hey, it's just like a numbers thing. And I was like, no, man, this is perfect. I was like, book my flight back to New Hampshire. I'll grab my car and I'll drive to Newfoundland. And they're like, okay. And I was like, I'm not upset. Like, don't worry, this is good. And like, it was like, I got cut after one day of camp. And
God.
And then it didn't matter, right? Like they brought in their own guys, and it was hilarious because I just couldn't believe that, like, I went to hand in my travel receipts and they cut me. and then so anyways, I go to Newfoundland, and right away I was like, man, we were so stacked. We all our team was either Marlies or Maple Leafs contracts, and
flexing the financial muscle, Pimpy.
Fun
do that shit. Canucks have like a 45-year-old goalie playing in front of Garteig.
Canucks also don't have fans that literally would kill themselves
Yeah, that's
for
true.
John Tavares to get a hat trick.
Yeah,
night.
that's
that organization though. Like obviously they got the funds to do it, but like, dude, they do it right for sure. And but like, fun fact also about my career is in my pro hockey career, I've never ever started the first game of the season.
really
Wow.
So always pegged as the backup, and I will not pumping my own tires, but almost always end up being a starting goalie. So, but there we had an NHL contracted goalie, so I was the backup.
Who was the goalie?
His name is Eamon McAdam.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
So he gets called up, and I end up playing every game in Newfoundland. I get goalie of the month, and then I signed with the Marlies. And thank you,
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle.
It was, yeah, but like awesome. My point though, Kyle Dubas sends me a message like 3 days before I signed being like, Michael, congratulations, goalie of the month. Like you're a pivotal part of our organization. Like we're so happy to have you. And I'm like, dude, what an amazing, he's trying to sign William Nylander and he's messaging as the ECHL contracted goalie who's making peanuts.
Makes me so happy to hear this.
Because he's just one of the boys. He's a beauty.
Aquilini doesn't even like know who probably doesn't know Daniel and Henrik Sedina, or he's just busy having slave wages for his employees. But
well, we lost him. We'll get him back. He'll come back. He's back.
Mom, get off the internet.
Meatloaf. Anyways, yeah, so do you want to ask a question, Pimpy? I've kind of been taking over things.
Oh, man, I just ended on such a high there with that joke.
Actually, okay, since you ended on the high, I've been serious this episode. Like, just wait. I wanted to follow your career path, and then we'll get into just random.
Also, can we say Daggerad's solo house party?
It's very good
IPA?
beer. You can't drink craft beer as a pro hockey player, can you? You got to drink, like, light beer or what? What kind of beer you drink?
Just water.
Just water. Yeah.
Like Aquafina or like Fiji?
Depends on
Voss.
Making that year.
in Europe, Voss. Anyways, but you did like they had actually the ECHL, they were actually pretty pissed at the whole board of governors. There's a big deal and basically Kyle Dubas and the boys said, shove it, we're going to run our organization how we want. Yeah. But one thing, so you guys ended up winning a Kelly Cup, so that's the Stanley Cup of the ECHL. Congrats. But one interesting thing that I did follow the team a bit because I'm a psychopath and I follow all three tiers of my favorite team. So I knew about this, but Ryan Clough, he was your guys' coach at the start, and then he actually ended up having to leave due to like concussion symptoms and like obviously really serious health problems. But can you talk about how that was? Like that must have been tough, like having a coach first season and then you have a different coach and you guys go on to win. Like what was that? That must have been a bit of a roller coaster.
It's pretty tough because like it was tough because like you could tell he was a little bit new to it. Like there was definitely some learning curves for him, but like, man, what a freaking scary dude. Oh my God. Like this guy is so intense that like we were in practice and you would think that he's going to like hit you from behind. Like he's so intense. He's still got it, but that was kind of probably part of the issue. Like,
yeah,
I can't really go too in depth with it because it's his personal life, but like I know that it was really bad. And we actually had a player on our team, Adam Party, played in the NHL for quite some time.
Yep.
He's from Newfoundland as well, and he was actually dealing with a lot of similar stuff. So we kind of had like two guys there that were kind of dealing with the head thing, and it's obviously no joke. But luckily enough, thank you for Toronto being like such a good organization. They hired John Snowden, who was our assistant coach.
Edward Snowden's brother.
Yeah. But this guy was he was really good. And like so when the fact that like we lost our coach and then got another and didn't really skip a beat, that's when we kind of knew we're like, man, we're probably gonna win.
That's unreal.
Yeah, what a great organization.
You win a lot, tier. Like you don't start a lot of you never start the first game, but you've won actually a lot when you think about it, eh?
Winners win from PGA.
Man, if we were only born in Prince George, what we could have been.
Dude.
So how did you make the transition though? For like you played a few years in North America, and then you ended up in like Finland, a
Yeah, that
place
was
more dark and desolate than Prince George. Like
oh,
what
man,
happened there?
crazy. So like, remember how I told you I got my master's?
Hmm.
When I was playing last year or 2 years ago, I guess now in Newfoundland, about in January, I got offered a pretty good job and I accepted it. And it was in the United States, and I was gonna coach and teach at a prep school.
No
Oh no
way.
way.
That's
And
cool.
so that's what I was like. Well, I talked to my coaches at Quinnipiac, and they're like, "Yeah, man, it's a home run. Like, if you don't feel you like want to keep playing, then that's a really good job to like start your coaching career, you know." And
What's your master's in?
education and athletic administration.
Cool.
Spot
So
on.
to be a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So then, so I accepted that, and then it was pretty. I felt so bad because as the year kept going in the playoffs in Newfoundland, the coach kept texting me, being like, "So you're not gonna take this job, are you? Like, something good's gonna come up." And I was like, "No, I'm still gonna take it." And then we won the Kelly Cup. I woke up the next morning. I had a call from my agent, and he was like, "We have you a contract with the best team in Finland for a lot of money, and it's a no-brainer. Like, you have to go." And I was like,
Mhm.
"All right." So I waited a week naturally, and I celebrated accordingly. And then I went to the Grand Prix in Montreal, back to Newfoundland, and then,
I actually hate myself.
I signed the. I actually got more money by waiting that week, and then
No way.
Love it.
uh, I signed there, and man, what a
What a
crazy transition that was.
bargaining tactic. You actually were just like pre-celebrating, getting tuned up for a week, and they're like, "Man, this guy's good." He's probably talking to other teams. Meanwhile, you're like 20 pints deep at the Derby.
I was
Yeah.
actually like, I waited so long that
Yeah.
I thought I was fine. I was like, yeah, just give me some time,
Mhm.
because I was like, kind of like I didn't really need to think about it, but I was just saying like, let me think about it. I just won a championship, like I'm just trying to enjoy
Mhm.
myself. So it was like a week or so, and I'm actually on the golf course, and yeah, we were all drinking and stuff, and I get a message from my agent, and he's like, "Guards, sign it now. Like they're gonna take it away. Like sign it." So I'm like, okay, now I'm like straight panic mode. I'm like, I rip into the pro shop. I'm like, hey, can you guys print out my contract? And the guy's like, yeah, no problem. I send it to him. Printer breaks. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, oh man, what do I do? What do I do? My thank God my trainer was there, and he's like, I got this DocuSign on my phone or something. I'm not.
Love it.
Oh,
I got that app.
Yeah,
so
well, of
good.
course you're CPA, fuck, smart guy. And
Thank you.
so I end up signing it on the golf course, and I sent it in, and yeah, I ended up going there.
How was that? How many goals did Jesse Pujärvi rip under the bar on you?
He scored one on me like 7-hole, but we played them 4 times. We beat them 4 times.
Nice.
Oof, not too bad.
That's
But
awesome because he was kind of like he must have been one of the best players in that league, or was he not?
I mean, yeah, the way it works in Finland is like typically the higher budget teams typically do much better, and he plays for the highest budget team, and they're typically like one of the best teams in the league. We were always like, they made it to the final 7 years in a row or something, and they didn't make it 1 year, so they like hit the panic button, and that's why
Mhm.
I came over, because they were like, they would never sign a goalie from the ECHL. Like that's not how they roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the roster, basically everyone's from Finland except for one guy from Plymouth and Tyler Morley from Burnaby.
Yeah. 91.
Everyone, pardon?
He's 91.
Love it.
Damn.
See, that kind of pisses me off, like to hear that. Like, I wish the NHL was like that, and the Leafs could just like pay their way to the finals every year and just like win a bunch, but they can't. I
It,
hate the salary cap.
it's hard. It's hard for Finland for sure. Like for those smaller teams, they gotta be doing
Oh,
the right things, and they like play like hard trap, and
Mhm.
then like we're playing lower end teams, and they'll just trap the shit out of us. They'll get like 12 shots on net, and they'll score twice, and then they'll shut it down, and they win 2-1.
What
But
was like?
we play like Puljärvi and stuff. Those
Mhm.
games are like amazing. That's like
oh, I
such
bet.
two good teams.
Was it a bit of a culture shock going to Finland? Like every Finnish person I met is just like they're either look like they strictly listen to death metal or they're just constantly full of dread and vodka. Is it accurate?
Yeah, like really accurate. You must know some Finnish guys.
Then a few Finnish people, I would try to avoid them. They're like every other Scandinavian country. Everyone's so peppy and like happy and stuff. And then Finnish people, it's like they're always
Stat check though. Finnish people, happiest people in the world.
No way.
no. Did they
Yeah.
they beat the Danes?
Oh, happiest people in the world. Google it right now.
Is
Okay.
it so like you look pretty Swedish? Like you must have fit right in there, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. They all thought I was like pretty much finished, but they man, pretty wild, like culture shock. Like they're very shy people, and they speak English, but they don't think they speak English good, but they all do. And
Yeah.
it was so, what a freaking change, because you go there a month early and you just do training camp for a month, and you train so hard, and never been much of a training guy. And then well, I mean I am now, but like it was so hard that I was like, man, I'm calling my mom, I'm coming home. Like
Really?
it was so hard. I was like, holy shit, this is so hard. And then so funny, we trained Monday to Friday, and you train from like 7 a.m. till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. You're on the ice twice, you work out twice, you run. Like it's just like crazy. And these guys, I might have said like 5 words, and I'm obviously, as you can tell, pretty chatty guy. And I said nothing. And I'm like, these guys hate me. This is brutal. And we go to the bar, and 2 beers in, these guys got their arms around me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're a beauty. Like, I'm scared to speak English because I don't speak good English. And I'm like, yeah, you do, man. Imagine me trying to speak your language. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And then the next day on Monday, I'm like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, who are
You
you?
basically described him. This guy. Saturday night, Friday afternoon, he's like the nicest guy. Monday morning, it's like he doesn't even know me and we live together.
Well,
Gotcha.
that's my Danish half.
Yeah.
I actually didn't believe you. 3 years in a row. Finns, happiest people in the world.
Makes sense. You bury all your anger and you just release it, or you just have fun on the weekends. Like I love that.
They drink a lot, like a lot of.
Yeah.
I think it's actually like a problem in the country.
Yeah, I think in a lot of European countries, do they hack darts like in Finland, like they do in other European countries?
Oh yeah, I love the darts.
Do they wait? Do they drink Akivit there?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's this like gritty Danish liquor that tastes like you're just drinking cold gasoline, and yeah,
Love it. Do you? How was your like? How did you do like with? Well, I don't know if you had a girlfriend or anything at the time, but that must have been like at least when your Europeans come to Canada, they do absolute work. So I'm just wondering.
My girlfriend lived with me there.
Okay, we won't talk about that then.
we'll cut that.
Is she from PG or is she?
Oh, she's American.
Very nice.
That's why I'm in Prince George. She's in America. I can't see her.
Oh my God, where's she
What do you think
from?
about that?
Kalamazoo?
Like Boston area.
Oh, not bad.
I met her when I went to Quinnipiac.
Yeah.
God damn it. So
Smart
jealous
guy.
of this guy.
Okay.
Do you have a question, Pimpy, or should I go?
No, I wanna break down the mental aspect of goaltending. I don't really understand it, but Kyle has a story from Salmon Arm, and he wants some insight into it.
Yeah, so I said this at one of our first pods, and it's like a moment that it's sort of like a thing I say, like if any goalie is like on TV and like say Frederick Anderson is just a funnel, and I'm like, dude, he's me in Salmon Arm tonight. I'm like, he's me. So in Salmon Arm, I let in 5 goals on the first 5 shots of the game, and I ended up actually just like, I swear to God, the last shot was still, it hadn't even hit the mesh, like the netting yet, and I was already on the bench with like my helmet off, like I had already pulled myself. Do you have, and that game haunted me for the rest of my hockey career. Do you have any games that were just like so bad and you either had a temper tantrum or something happened? Or
I'm surprised they left you in for all 5. That's mean on its own.
I had to pull myself.
Did you guys not have another goalie or what?
The worst part is the other goalie went in, and we ended up tying the game. And it was a tournament, so there was just a tie. But I was like, I'm literally the only reason why there was a tie.
Was it Spencer Krupop or what?
No, Spencer Krupop, that bastard was always the reason why I never made it. So, because he's a year older than me. So I'm a 93. So I never made it. So yeah, I got anyways, that game completely destroyed me. But do you have any games like that were just brutal?
Probably the hardest game that I've ever been a part of is that national championship game I played in 2016. I went out to play the puck and I shot it into Brock Besser and he scored an empty net. And that we lost the game 5-1, but that was the second goal and that was essentially the game winner. And
Yeah.
you can't predict the future, right? But like, oh man, it's so tough. That one haunts me for sure because I made a huge mistake, but like at the same time, like, I mean, if I would have done the same thing 100 times because I was just going out to whack the puck and I wasn't thinking. I was just trying to get rid of the damn thing. I wasn't trying to do anything else than just get it out of the zone, and it ends up hitting him. And so that one kills me probably to this day because who knows what would have happened. I mean, I could have a national championship, but at the same time, you just never know what would have happened, right?
Well,
That's
doesn't sound that bad. You were in like a national championship.
Yeah.
I was in Salmon Arm at like 8 a.m. against Williams Lake, and they weren't even that good.
You're still playing in wet gear from the night before.
Yeah.
Oh, when you like go to Quinnell and you have to like leave your gear outside the hotel room, there's nowhere to put it, and it's frozen in the morning when you put it on.
And you got to worry about it getting stolen, so you got to sleep with your window half.
The parents are all taking shifts outside, freezing their asses off, making sure nothing goes down.
Oh, man, hey, congrats though! You stayed in the hotel. I used to just stay in my dad's camper. So
Really?
Yeah.
Stay humble, man.
Dad had a union job, so
But one thing too, like I was in Best Ever, and this one I really realized my goalies are fucking weird, man. Because there was a goalie across from me. He ended up making Best Ever, and I didn't. So joke's on me. But he kept spilling his Gatorade like onto his jersey, and like sometimes your jersey will like lift up, and instead of just like I don't know letting it sit there or like getting it off, he would keep slurping it off of his jersey. And I'm just like, he's from Smithers, of course. Like, he had to be from Smithers. But I'm like, all these guys are fucking weird. So, like, and you don't seem weird, but like, do you find that a lot of the goalies that you've come in contact with are kind of a bit strange? Like, and what's the deal with it?
I mean, probably just what we do. I mean, think about it. It's like being a pitcher, quarterback. Like, it's comparable, right? Like, you're kind of like the one guy. Like, the worst thing is a player can play a bad game, and they can just, like, work really hard. And it's like, well, he worked hard tonight.
Yeah.
I could work really hard and let in 10 goals, and it's like, well, he sucked. Yeah, but I worked hard.
Yeah.
Like, like, it's not – it's like a pretty daunting job, and it's probably kind of thankless at the same time. But
it's so thankless.
But I don't know, man. Like I'm telling you, like if any of my goalie partners ever heard this, I would probably say it to their face. But yeah, man, I've played with some friggin' weirdos.
Like, they're all so weird. And like, the one thing that I found shocking is like, you see the guy with his gear on and you're like, this guy, look at him. Like, they look so menacing and like they have like nice mask. And then you see them out, like, you see them with their gear off and they're like this little skinny like alien and you're like, what the fuck? And he can't hold a conversation. You're like, I don't even want to be like this guy. That's why I turned to music and left the fucking goaltending behind.
Well, when we were in Cactus Club a few years ago, the Nucks were playing the Leafs. We're in Vancouver, and Freddie Anderson and Matt Martin walked into Cactus Club, and Kyle Boom and Cody J, they like literally ran out of the booth.
It's kind of embarrassing. Like,
but Freddie Anderson though, like Matt Martin's like, oh, what's up, boys? How's it going? Like, sure, like smiling and stuff. Freddie Anderson didn't say one word.
I don't even think he fucking looked at me.
He was like, if you watched our pod with Spencer Bell, his face didn't move the entire time.
You were probably devastated, hey, that Freddie didn't acknowledge you.
I was a bit devastated, but my worst, and I'll tell this, and I'm really embarrassed about it. I'll fucking tell it. We were in PG, and I was watching the Cougars, and I'm like, you know what, boys? Like, I don't even give a shit about the Leafs, like, because they were like bottom feeding. I'm like, I just want to meet Kyle Dubas. That's like really all I care about. And then like two periods later, like in the third period at like the end of the game, I see Kyle Dubas. Like, he's actually in PG. So stupid, like 21-year-old Kyle, I'm like, I'm going to go see him. Like, he's scouting. I should not be bothering this guy. So I go and sit beside him while he's watching the end of the game. And like, I'm trying to talk to him. And at the end of it, I'm just like, I'm a absolute loser. So now, like, I don't even want to meet my heroes.
I've never heard that one before.
It's so pathetic, but we had to
Do you
do it
still
on
have
the spot.
Dubas's number? Maybe you can.
No, don't even. I don't even want to know about him.
He'd probably answer and he'd just be like, "What's up, man?"
Yeah, I know he's such a great guy. But, anyways, what do you want to do now, Pimpy? Should we move on?
Yeah, let's get into. We have a new segment this week.
We created it. Right, we created it actually last night.
Yeah. We were just throwing around ideas. We're like, we're
How
not
can we
going to
make
get
this
to
fun?
it, but yeah. Do you read through it? Any issues with this?
Oh no, yeah, it's all good.
This
Okay.
is great.
So either or, new segment. Basically, we have two options. We pick either of the two options.
Are you following us? You might need. I think you might need your PhD to be able to handle this, but we'll try it out.
I'm picking either or.
Yeah. Here we go.
He's got it.
Okay, you go first.
Sean Friend or Kurt Friend?
So if I'm picking Sean, am I picking?
You pick what? Who do you think? What do you think?
Sean Friend.
Love it.
Yeah,
I would have picked Kurt. I think Sean might be. Like, I don't know him as much, but Kurt, we actually, whenever he comes to Terrace, we actually do go for a beer, and usually he pays. So legally, I have to pick Kurt.
I have to go Sean because Kurt had a funny Snapchat story one time, and I replied to it and told him it was funny, and I didn't get a reply back. Sean would never do that to me.
Sean doesn't have Snapchat though, so
yeah. But if I like reply to Sean's like Instagram story or something like that, he would ask me everything that's been going on in my life. Like,
yeah,
I didn't get that from Kurt.
Sean calls me every day. So
I love that.
We're soon to be business partners, so
No way. Can you disclose?
S&G Holdings.
Love it. So you're just gonna hold stuff.
Yep, just love holding things together.
Yeah, love it, boys. That's great.
All right, next one.
Jordan Duncan or Justin Duncan?
Again, I go with Jordan because he's like more my age, but man, I've had some funny times with Justin, so I'm gonna go Jordan. But both two really good choices there. Both sets of brothers, both great people.
These are like these either ors are just like slam. They're not even. They're not slam dunks at all. Like
they're tough.
Either or are good.
Yeah, I would go Justin here. I mean, you don't get the highs with Justin that you get with Jordan, but you never get the lows.
Like, I don't know Justin that well, but Jordan used to listen to our pods. Like, love the pod, boys. I listen all the time. So then we were like, I don't think he listens anymore, and we gave him a bunch of anti-shoutouts. Like, we're like talking about him all the time, and he's never talked to us. So
Justin,
he'll probably listen to this one. So
Justin would never listen in the first place. You don't get that hurt later on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next one. This is probably the toughest one. Jenny or Heartbreakers?
Oh, easy Generator.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
I like the 3-tiered level. I once walked into the Heartbreakers and went straight to the top and watched Cam Braun dump an entire beer on his head 5 minutes into being there. You just don't get those kind of experiences at the Jenny.
Yeah, but you can watch from above. We were literally just talking about this like 3 days ago.
Have you ever fallen? Is it fallen or fell? Anyways, have you ever fell asleep on those couches upstairs at the Jenny? Oh. I've come close.
They just suck you right in, eh?
Oh, dude.
Dude, I was there like pre-couch days and then couch days. And then, no, I've seen some funny things. John Gibson trying to jump off the stage. That was pretty funny. Ed Kovac taking a nap behind the speaker. That was a good one.
Oh, love it, man.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the amount of times I've nearly fell asleep standing up there is like
too many to count.
Too many to count. Next one, Nancy O's. This is a horrible question, I think, but Nancy O's or Chimo?
Nancy O's.
Yeah, Nancy O's is epic.
You've been to Chimo one time though.
Fair.
Well, Chimo's got good food, no doubt.
Great.
But Nancy O's is like same thing. Like we used to go to Nancy O's and then go to the Generator.
Yeah. Dude.
So like that combo right there,
it's unreal.
The
food is great.
Almost as good as the Parrot Mule combo in Penticton.
Well, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds dangerous.
Full disclosure, yeah, we have not been to Prince George in a long time.
Is there a good what place have you played? Even though we're supposed to do either or, but what place have you played that has like the best bar scene?
Oh, St. John's, Newfoundland.
No way, really?
Oh my God, man! They have most bars in Canada per capita.
Right, George Street.
Oh yeah, go look at George Street. It's just sickening. Oh.
So obviously we don't even have to ask this one, Newfoundland or Alaska.
Newfoundland, but Alaska was so cool to say I lived in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
man.
But Newfoundland, dude, these people there, they're just amazing. Like their own language and
Oh yeah.
the drinking culture and the music and oh man, our rink is downtown. Like our rink is in it's on George Street. So we could just win a game and then we could just walk down to the street and we would all the time and then just listen to live music. Like a guy would just play live music and we just sit there and hammer beers and just it's just awesome.
Sounds like literally everything that I would want.
Yeah, it's unreal.
In a town. And isn't the barn brand new too?
It was really nice and new. The HL team, right? Forever. And then
Yeah, man. St. John's Maple Leafs, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love it. Okay. Actually, you got to ask this one.
Trench or Crossroads?
I don't know. Crossroads is sick, man. That's actually, you got to admit, you roll in, you get a pizza, and you just crush craft beer, and then
see a lot of people tell me Trench, but I've never actually had Trench. You can't get cans of Trench here.
Well, it's more like during this whole thing, I can't tell you how many times I said man, I wish we could just go down to Crossroads, sit down, have a pizza and a beer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've heard the Zaw's unreal, and I've had Crossroads beer. You can get it at the BCL here in Terrace, and it's really solid.
Sick. Made its way up there. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Next one, dips or darts. I just looking at you, you don't look like you've ever even seen a cigarette. But
man, my nickname in college was Garteig.
No way.
No, I've never been a dip guy. Yeah. Always been a dart guy.
No way. I smoked one. Well, my parents actually listen to this, and my grandma listens. But guys, I smoked a cigarette outside of the Best Western in Terrace. I'm like, I have to do it. I have to do the whole thing, and I'll know if I like it or not. Smart move, right? I hated it, and I've never had one since. But wow. What's your how could you do that being an athlete?
Well, I don't smoke.
Just when you drink.
Yeah, if we were at a party and
fuck, that's actually cool as hell, man. It's so cool.
Frick, yeah, my first dart was I sparked it with a toaster because I didn't have a lighter. I was in grade 11.
Oh man,
parents were gone, a little buckled.
Yeah, we used to. Oh, I'm not even gonna go there. We were so gross.
The thing about cigarettes that really sucks, and I wish it was different. Well, the cancer thing is obviously the main one, but the second thing that really sucks is when you're famous or when you're you have status, smoking a cigarette is so cool. Mm-hmm. But when you live on the south side of Terrace and you are an accountant, you look like a pathetic loser smoking cigarettes. So I really can't do it. But man, Eric Clapton with the cigarette and
it looks. I know in Finland everyone smokes cigarettes and everyone's smoking around you and you're like, man, that looks like it tastes good.
I know. Yeah. And then you taste it, and it doesn't taste that good.
No. They have the clicks there too, the little menthols, right?
One time I was you say you think it's cool. I was at a big college bar my last year, and I was walking it down the balcony, and I see this girl smoking a cigarette, and I go to grab it out of her mouth, and I put it in my mouth, and I go to jump on the balcony, and I went right over top of the balcony. and the bouncer was like, hey, and I was like, I know. I kicked myself out. I was trying to be cool by smoking. And
classic Garteig, man.
Yeah.
Garteig, love it.
All right, maybe the most polarizing one. This one's just in here to be cheeky, but Nickelback or Theory of a Dead Man?
Nickelback. I think they're amazing.
I think, yeah, you definitely I was thinking about what you would listen to, and I stereotype everybody, but you've listened to Photograph before playing a big game. I think.
I not Photograph, but I would listen to Nickelback before a game.
Okay, not Photograph. I feel like that's a good song that you should listen to before games.
No, it's too sad.
Yeah, I guess.
You pump up Nickelback.
I had the best game of my life. And I listened to G Code by Ghetto Boys on repeat for about 4 hours, and I got a shutout.
You probably listened to that again, I bet, after that.
Listened to that again, and I never got another shutout, and basically my career fizzled. But
yeah, G Code was an absolute banger back in minor
What kind
hockey.
of tunes do you listen to though? When you do, or do you listen to different music when you're getting pumped up for a game and versus just like hanging out, or?
Yeah, I just listen to like whatever's hot, you know. I don't know. I'm just a Spotify like today's top hits kind of guy. But in Finland, like we had some pretty wacky tunes in the locker room.
Any
I bet.
death metal or what?
Yeah, they love death metal, and I hate death metal. So
Yeah.
that sucks because you're trying to like go up for a game and you just
Yeah.
hate music, so you kind of hate the guys that are playing it.
Yeah. How are they the happiest people? Like they just do so much like strange shit. Like it's dark all the time.
Yeah.
There's vodka. There's death metal.
Yeah,
Everyone's hacking darts.
I love it. Sounds like my paradise. Never have to go outside.
Oh, man.
We have another really huge segment, and then we'll just bullshit a bit, and then we'll call it. But I will say before we get into our big segment, I'm losing my mind right now. Thanks for coming on. Like you didn't have to do that, so thank you.
that was awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
So it was like when you're next to Kyle Dubas? Is this how you
Yeah,
acted?
I'm basically acting. I'm so nervous.
I'm actually wearing his glasses.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, like me going up to him being like, so who are you scouting? And he's just like, I'm scouting this guy. And I'm just like, yeah, I read that article about you and about Corsi. It was really cool. I'm just like, the amount of shit I did looking back, I'm just like, I'm a loser. But now I have a podcast. So anyways, so we have this segment called Veteran Move or Rookie Mistake. It's very similar to either or. Actually, it's actually quite different, actually. But you basically say if something's a veteran move or if that's a rookie mistake. Pimpy, take it away, my friend.
Tucking in your jersey.
Rookie move because only Gretzky can do that.
Totally. And when goalies do it, it looks really fucked up, don't you think?
Yeah, but that sometimes I can't help it. You just have big pants, you know, big butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How big are you? Are you a tall goalie? I want to know your weight. What's your dimensions?
How big are your calves?
I'm 6'1".
That's not like Freddie Anderson big. So you had to be pretty agile then.
Yeah, I don't know. Simple.
Positionally sound.
Simple's good.
Carey Price style.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say that one's a veteran move, but I used to do it and
you did it. No wonder you didn't go far.
This guy.
Yeah.
Can you want to say what helmet you wore?
Well, okay, I will talk about this. So imagine a guy.
Tough.
My dad didn't give me a choice. He's like, you can't get any conkies. So I had the Corey Perry Nike Bauer helmet.
The 8,000.
Like whatever. Yeah.
So
Wow.
just
Brutal.
Did you have the Jofa moon bucket when you were starting?
No, I had like a red CCM when I was starting. Just massive.
Match the colors, eh? Terrace
Yeah.
probably only sells red helmets.
yeah.
Surprisingly, we had a lot of weird colors going on. But I already looked like an absolute pigeon. So I'm like, I need to add some flair. So I tucked in my jersey.
Horrible look.
Rookie move.
I wasn't a great looking goalie either, but yeah, rookie mistake for sure. Next one, carving up your D-man after you let in the goal. Like I've done that a lot and I feel guilty about it.
Really?
Have you done it? It's a horrible move, I think, but
I don't know. I guess that'd be a rookie move. I can't say I've done that to his face.
yeah.
But
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I haven't played goalie since I was like 10, so I don't really have much of an opinion on that.
It's totally a rookie mistake. But because, man, you realize how much you need your D-man. Like, even though the really shitty thing is like 5 players can make a bunch of mistakes, but if you let it in the goal, it's your fault, which is horrible. But
yeah.
Next one, Pippi.
Tinted visors. Veteran move, rookie mistake.
100% rookie move.
I realize these are actually terrible.
Yeah, we only have a day to
They're
prepare.
all rookie mistakes, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I skated with a guy who what's your guys' senior team called?
River Kings.
I don't think he played for the River Kings, but what was the Houston team?
Oh, Houston Luckies?
There's a guy that used to skate with, like, I used to skate with him in Smithers, and he would wear a tinted visor. Like, come on.
Oh, it's so gross.
Like, you have to be really, really good to be able to do it.
I'm going to interview you. Rookie or vet move, white skates.
Hard rookie mistake, I think. Like, the only guy that can really pull it off is, like, Fedorov.
Like, I think with a lot of these things, you have to just be really fucking good.
Yeah.
Because, like, if Wayne Gretzky wanted to, like, change – if he was on, like, went to LA, he's like, I'm only playing in LA if we have hot pink jerseys. What do? You just fucking put them on because he's Gretzky.
It's like in Mean Girls when they like cut the girl's bra out and then everyone does it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we didn't do my either or.
Which one?
I had an either or. I added you on or I followed you on Twitter and saw you said something about The Last Dance. So I got an either or for you. Jerry Krause or Hitler? Isn't that guy such a critter? I'm sure he's not as bad as the way they say, but
hey, at the end, he's like Scottie Pippen says he's the best GM or whatever.
Yeah, right. Like, I think, I feel bad for him kind of, but anyways, back to veteran move, rookie mistake. I had one other one that didn't get added to this, but I don't know if you wear it, but the neck protector, like the plastic neck protector, veteran move, rookie mistake.
I don't know. That's tough. I don't wear one.
Yeah.
My goalie partner in Finland did. I risk the collarbone over like letting in a goal. So
yeah, like I wore one for a bit because I got smoked in the throat a couple times, and I was just like, my voice. See, that's why my voice cracks up because I got hit a couple times there. But Patrick Waugh wore one.
True, and he made it look pretty good too.
I know, like I kind of like the look when it's when it's like when the guy's like frantically moving around and
but that's why I hate it because it's like you can hear it like ting 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 ting, and then if you can't see through the thing.
For like 2 games, I didn't end up wearing it, but I got the it's the one that's not clear. It's got a color.
Yeah,
dude, that's a tough look.
Yeah, that's a rookie move.
That's a huge rookie mistake. But
what about colored laces?
Ooh, if they're yellow, it's okay.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the standard. Like when you start throwing in, I don't know, it just gets worse. Like when you're in beer league.
Yeah.
At least when you're in the pros, it's like you can just say it's for a cause or something like that.
True, but in beer league, that means that they went out and they bought those.
Yeah, and they're never on sale either.
Crazy.
I could justify it that way. I would wear like neon pink laces to save $2.
Big bargain guy.
What? Why would you do that?
Maybe 3 if they're on sale.
I would never do that ever. But we're gonna wrap up. But do you have any other like cool stories or anything that you want to leave us with? Your second podcast ever was it? Oh, one. I actually have a question. Was this the best podcast you've ever been on, or?
I was on Ingle Media. You know that one?
No.
Ingle Media?
That sounds really familiar.
As a goalie guy, you should know that one.
Dude, I'm done with goalie. I'm into rock and roll now, man.
I think it's like pretty big hockey. Like it's all about goalie stuff. So it's good. And then I was on some other Canucks one or something, but.
Oh, okay. But damn it. So
this is the best one. For sure.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Congrats, guys. Hey, fucking rights. Awesome.
Feels so good.
So what's next for Michael Garteig?
Well, gas prices are down. Go to the gas station, fill up the tank, grab some darts, go hang out with the boys. No,
yeah, couple rounds of golf.
No, I mean right now I've been waiting for the border to reopen so I can go back down to the States. But I mean, not necessarily that I really want to be there right now, but for other purposes I need to be. But no, I mean I had a good year in Finland, and I'm gonna stay over in Europe probably. My agent says, I could potentially come back to North America if I wanted to, but if I'm not playing the NHL, there's probably not a point for me to come back. And so, I'm just waiting for a contract, and, hopefully it's like in the KHL or the SHL, which is Sweden.
That'd be cool. Sweden would be awesome.
Yeah. Or maybe even Finland again. Like, I mean, it's like a top 5 league in the world. So it's, it's good. It was really good hockey. And I like I said, I had a really good year, which was awesome. And so I'm just training now, and kinda, and it's kind of a weird time as we all know.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Thank God.
Was your season done, or did it get canceled, or?
I played the last game of the year with no fans, and then we played with no fans, and then got sent home like 2 or 3 days later.
Wow.
So was that the regular season? So you were?
Yeah, we played the last game of the regular season, and
wow,
we finished second place, and probably would have won a championship. Not gonna lie, and then
could have been. How many championships would that have been? 4 for you?
I don't know.
I don't brag. Epic.
But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully the KHL. I mean, I'm like hopeful, and I think that's where I will end up. And
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I don't know, but that's where I'd like to go. And for me, that'd be pretty cool. Second best league in the world, and from almost retiring to going there would be pretty cool.
That's super awesome, man.
I heard Zagreb's a good spot.
Yeah, they don't
I'm not-
exist.
I'm not legit.
I would be scared to play in Russia.
Yeah.
I'd be terrified. But I'm just worried about Putin. Like, imagine this is what I picture. They're playing a celebrity game. For whatever reason, Garteig's in net. He can't stop Putin. He has to let in every shot, but he's so used to saving pucks. That would be so terrifying. You see a little red dot on your freaking neck because they're gonna kill you if you don't let in a goal.
That's how they do in Russia.
Fuck me. Actually, yeah, they're probably listening to us right now.
Yeah.
But my only other advice to you, like, not that you really need a lot of advice after like winning everywhere you've been, but I definitely keep your distance from Big Body Bell, because you never know.
Yeah.
You might be at a blackjack table in some dingy basement, and you got to keep your career going. So stay away from that guy, and all the best, man.
Yeah, never go anywhere near gambling and any bell, even if they're not related. Just play it safe.
He's basically Michael Jordan, but with no skill.
I might be playing with him on Friday. I'm not sure.
All right, man.
Keep the bets off the table.
I'm pretty sure I e-transferred him money, and then he was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." But I'm pretty sure that money went through.
Oh.
He's like, "Hey, man, I never got your e-transfer, so don't worry about it." I'm like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that went through.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, do you want to end it here?
Sure. Any last words?
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was awesome. Just fun to shoot the shit and tell you guys some funny stories and hear them from you too. It's good.
Yeah, man. Now that we know how to use Zoom, we should, when you're in like some bunker in Russia, we'll get you to zoom in, and we'll have another pod. Actually, we probably won't be able to because they'll have a wiretap on your computer, but
I just like when you move because I can see the cheerleaders behind you. So.
Oh yeah, you want to take a look at them? Love it.
No, I don't want to see Yale guys. No.
There's his girlfriend right down there.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Or one of them. Anyways, okay, buddy. We'll see. Holy shit!
Wow. Thanks for coming on the pod, Michael Garteig.
Yeah.
Second most handsome guest we've ever had.
Second most handsome guest.